If you're Singaporean, you should have heard of this free 2GB per day SIM card by TPG. If you haven't, here's what you need to know. TPG is Singapore's fourth telco, and they're not the same as Circles.life and 01, which you can learn about in this video. I think it's around here. It's an Australian telecom service wanting to expand into Singapore, and they did this by spending 23.8 million to buy 4G spectrum about 2017, and has been deploying and testing it privately. To me, competition is what drives businesses to expand their services while keeping their prices attractive. I can safely say that TPG is definitely a threat to all three major telcos after using TPG for about 2 months if they continue expanding their 4G coverage. As of filming this video, they are accepting new trials for new customers, so you get 2GB of data limit per day, after which your speeds will be throttled. Also, because they're still developing the services, making traditional calls and texts is very unreliable. In fact, I'll recommend using data applications like WhatsApp or FaceTime instead to make calls or video calls. So what about speeds? I can tell you straight that if you put two phones in front of me, and one's from StarHub and one's from TPG, and both load Instagram instantaneously, I will be unable to tell which phone is from which telco. Because at this point, the download speeds of 4G is so negligible that it's kind of hard to tell. And it's just in the form of milliseconds. In fact, anything at about 10 Mbps is fine because mobile applications are designed to be as compressed mobile data as much as possible. But if you want to know, TPG speeds average from 5 Mbps to 40 Mbps, and it's a far cry from what major telcos have to offer. To me, whether it's surfing Instagram or YouTube on Singtel or TPG, it's not noticeable at all. And even if I nitpick, the response time on the major telcos are much better, but as someone that doesn't play games that require good ping, this isn't really a factor to me. But that's not to say that there's definitely no work to be done. There is work that needs to be done, and the most important being signal consistency. Short version, anything below ground level is dead, inconsistent to non-existent signal. That means underground MRT stations are dead zones, along with the basement of shopping malls and even some toilets inside the shopping malls itself. Signal in the south, particularly VivoCity and Harbourfront Centre, is very unreliable. Basement of Raffles City is completely dead, and the long stretch between Khatib and Yio Chu Kang MRT is just 1 bar. There's also no signal in the zoo as well, so if you're gonna post like cute little Instagram stories with these animals, I guess you have to go back to the other telcos and post it. But let's be fair to them. They've only entered the market for about 2 years, and they promised that they will be expanding their network. I know this because I've emailed them about their plans, and this is what they've said. Yes, there will be available plans in the future. TPG has island-wide outdoor coverage, and we're improving both outdoor and indoor coverage day by day. We thank you for your patience in the meantime. I think that the most obvious improvement, of course, is to continually expand coverage, especially in underground MRT tunnels. That dead zone, it's definitely a deal breaker for many when TPG launches the paid option. We as Singaporeans are very spoiled by the coverage of 4G underground. Without any signal, it definitely makes me think twice about wanting to sign up for any of TPG's plans. Other places include smaller regions of the island to ensure that they can reach coverage that's not just surface level. For example, this could be within any shopping mall in Orchard Road, and where it's a concrete jungle of shopping malls, it makes it very difficult for signal to be consistent. Another useful add-on will be to introduce Wi-Fi calling on top of 4G calling. But while you could argue that there's FaceTime and WhatsApp like I mentioned earlier, using Wi-Fi calling offsets the data away from the 4G towers, and calls will be more reliable as well. And as one of the first 20,000 people that have picked up the TPG SIM card, I am now happy to report that they have all the necessary information on their website, especially for Android users that need to set up their APN settings for mobile data. So if you need like additional help, I've linked it down below in the description. When I first picked up the SIM card, the customer service officer mentioned that it's been activated, but he didn't guide me at all on how that if you're an Android user, you need to change the APN settings. It works on my iPhone 7, but it doesn't work on my S8. So that got me a little miffed, and I was wondering like what's going on. And I could only use the SIM card after like a few days, where I decided to do a bit of searching, and then someone on Hardware Zone, thank you very much, mentioned that you need to change the APN settings in Android manually so that there is the mobile data. I'm happy to report again that all this information is available now. So if there's any improvements that you think that TPG needs, please let them know, because supporting TPG means indirectly having better prices and data plans in the near future. Thank you so much for watching this video about TPG. Also, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to put them in the comments below. If you like the video, go ahead and like it, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to. It helps me out a lot, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.